Hey guys, today I'm here with the new player's guide to ranked in Street Fighter 6. This guide will be catered towards brand new players and to players in low ranks looking for tips on climbing, or people just trying to learn the basics as a place to start before starting their ranked climb. Alright, first off we're going to go over basic notation, since I'll be using specific notation for the combos. Basically, if you look at this picture, you will see that each number is associated to a specific direction. The easiest way, if this is difficult to look at, you can look at the numpad on your keyboard. For this notation, we will always assume that the character is facing to the right. Since that is the case, 4 will be backwards, 6 will be forwards, 2 will be down, and so on. Next will be the buttons that your character is pressing. I will never be referring to light punch or light kick as X or square or whatever controller that you will be using. Instead, I will be referring to what the button is. For instance, light punch is LP, medium punch is MP, and heavy punch is HP. Same thing goes for kicks. I won't be referring to jabs or shorts or anything along those lines, so you don't really have to remember that. What should we know before heading into ranked? My opinion is that you need 3 things: a light combo, a heavy combo, and what buttons to press or what to do in neutral. We'll start with the light combo. This is a combo you can use to punish moves that are punishable, but not easily. We'll talk about frame data later. That's not something you gotta worry about right now. In other cases, this is simply a combo that starts from lights that we will use to do damage when we catch our opponent in a small opening. Maybe they didn't block for a second, or they tried to press a button when it wasn't their turn. That's probably the more common of the two. Either way, we need a light combo to start. In the above scenario, we will be using Ryu's heavy Hashugeki in order to make ourselves advantageous. Next, we are going to be pressing crouching light punch. Notice that it hits. Press the second crouching light punch anyway, and then we're going to be going into quarter circle back light kick, giving us light tatsu. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter which light combo you choose, but what you need is at least one light combo. Obviously, your character may or may not be Ryu, and obviously this is not the most optimal light combo for Ryu. There's many examples. Off the top of my head, you could be using medium kick tatsu instead for more corner carry, or you could be using light Hashugeki as a setup. The main thing that you need is a light combo. Eventually, you have multiple light combos, and eventually you will know the optimal light combo for each scenario. That's what you should be striving for when you continue your climb. Alright, now let's move on to heavy combo. Unlike light combos, this combo will be used almost exclusively when your opponent has made a giant mistake. From an invincible reversal with a ton of recovery, to attempting to use a drive impact, but you responded with your own. It's easiest to choose a heavy combo that works without your opponent needing to be punish countered, so that you can use it for the latter scenario. But ultimately, you will learn multiple heavy punish combos as you learn more about your character, look up guides, or so on. Ideally, you want to use one that can also go into a level 3 with only an additional input. But not every character has that privilege, unfortunately. For our example, we're going to be keeping it simple. We're going to be going heavy punch into OD donkey kick, and then as soon as he bounces back from the wall, we're going to go into a heavy shoryu. One thing to notice is that as soon as Ken comes down from his OD shoryuken, we hit him, and on the screen it will say punish counter. What this does for us is it gives us additional frames to be able to link our standing heavy punch into something else, but right now we're just keeping it simple and going into OD donkey kick. A big thing to note here is also that this is screen dependent, unfortunately. What this means is that you're not going to be able to do it whenever you have your opponent cornered, at least not easily. You're going to want to be using this either mid-screen or when you are near the corner. As you can see above, this combo could also end up going into your level 3. In this example, we completely skip Shoryu, but there's, as I said, way more ways to optimize this, and ultimately this probably isn't going to be your heavy punish combo. Just something to get started. Another thing to note for this combo and why I chose this one specifically is I had mentioned the thing about screen dependency. Well, if I have a combo and it's screen dependent, it's really going to be hard for me to be making that decision on whether I should or should not use it. That is true. So what you can do instead is skip the OD, as in pressing 2 kicks, and just do a medium donkey kick. This works from heavy punch and allows you to do the exact same thing that we'd gone over before. The only thing you're missing out is the lack of a wall bounce, but the big thing here is that you're also able to do level 3 cancel out of medium donkey kick. Alright, and the final thing. What buttons to press in neutral? Now this one's a lot harder to talk about because it's extraordinarily character dependent. So, for Ryu, we're just going to go over some basic buttons. The basic idea is that you can press every normal and neutral except at different ranges. The longer range buttons, like standing medium kick and crouching medium kick and setting heavy punch, are when your opponent are a bit further away. And obviously the light punches whenever they are closer. Another thing for Ryu specifically is the Sudoken. This can be used at varying ranges, and you should attempt to swap speeds to throw off your opponent. Other buttons, like standing medium punch and crouching medium punch, are extraordinarily good, so try to incorporate them when you get the chance eventually, or look at Ryu-specific guides for more details. The big thing to push here is the concept of risk-reward. You shouldn't be OD shoryuing in neutral or heavy tatsuing as a standard practice. When trying to figure out buttons on your character, make note of which ones are positive and which ones are more than negative 4 frames of disadvantage. Those ones are either always punishable or require specific spacing to not be punishable. For your character, and whenever you're looking for more information, try and watch high-level gameplay and see what buttons they press and win. It'll definitely help you out. Alright, I know that was super long-winded for the first few things to know, but these are the things that I would say you should learn in the lab before you start heading off to rank. After you've learned those things, however, it's off to rank. And now that we're ready to start, we find out that we can't use any of these combos or buttons in neutral I talked so much about because my opponent won't stop jumping. Well, I'm going to be honest, that's never going to stop. And you should never expect it to stop. Anti-airing, in my opinion, is one of the most important things for beginner players, especially as they go up in ranks from iron all the way to plat or diamond. Universally, crouching heavy punch is the generic anti-air. Obviously, there are exceptions, with Ed's standing heavy kick being his, and the same goes for Aki along with her crouching heavy kick as well. In the future, if you play a character with a good anti-air special, like Shoryuken, Flash Kick, Cannon Spike, and so on, you will eventually be swapping to those, but at the beginning, getting a consistent anti-air at all is incredibly important. And I find it highly unlikely that as a beginner player, you're going to be able to do the Shoryuken motion consistently on every single anti-air. And another big problem is that if you are doing that, then chances are you're not paying attention to DI, you're not paying attention to buttons in neutral, and you're definitely not capitalizing on any of the combos that you had been learning. At a certain point, it's the mental stack that builds up. But anyway, if you're playing a character without them, then it is what it is. In either case, without those great anti-airs, there's another incredibly important thing that we have to talk about: spacing. The generic anti-airs that I'm talking about would not be able to stop your opponent from jumping without proper spacing and timing. It's the weakness of not having an anti-air special that will present itself in quite a few situations. But, provided you maintain proper spacing and timing, you can either completely mitigate these situations or simply block in a scenario you aren't sure. Not even the best players in the world can stop every single anti-air, but at the beginning of your ranking, I will say you can easily rack up free wins just being consistent. Now, we talked about what to do before ranked and what to do when you're in the game. But there is another very important facet to playing, and it's your mental. If you find yourself getting heated after a few matches, take a break. If you're losing and you don't know why, don't just hop into the next match. At the end of every single game, you can click the option to train with your opponent's character. Figure out the things that you didn't know before. This could help you slow down, calm yourself, and one of the things that tends to anger people a lot is the unknown. If you get hit out of something you didn't expect, try and find out why. But I think the biggest thing, and I cannot stress this enough, for newer players, especially ones that have only been playing for a little bit, and maybe about a month has passed, but it's the ego. If you lost, your opponent was better than you. I don't care if all they did was jump or they spammed DI at every turn. You didn't react to it, that's on you. Maybe you buffered and you got hit by the DI because of it. If you lose to a gimmick, you still lost. It doesn't matter if that person was 2 tiers below you. Rather than calling them a smurf or thinking that they got lucky, try and fix your mistakes. You lost for a reason. At the end of the day, you lost and it's your fault. We shouldn't be caring about every single win or two or a single loss or two. Ultimately, it's going to be a long climb. Have fun with it and learn as much as you can. This game is amazing and it'll be even better when Bison's released, but ultimately, it's a fun game. You got to be here for the ride. Alright guys, that's it for me. I hope that even if only a little bit, I helped. Obviously, this is a beginner's guide. So if you have any topics you want me to go over or maybe make a beginner guide for a specific character, let me know in the comments. If you like this video, even a little bit, hit the like button, possibly subscribe, and as Ed always says, let's go, ring the bell. Have a great one guys, and I'll see you next time.